What's up, guys? T-Brown31 here with my friend Jacob.
What's up?
And this is our E3 2018 press conference breakdown podcast. Today we will go through all 9 of the E3 presentations, review them, and give a little bit of a small opinion on them. At the end of each one, we'll give a rating. So let's go ahead and get into it. First off is EA, and they started with Battlefield 5.
Yeah, so for Battlefield 5, they decided to show off a single player. They said they were doing no loot boxes, no premium pass, so it's all free. And of course, they introduced a Battle Royale mode, which is big multiplayer. Everyone's hopping on that train this year.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't either.
COD is doing it as well, so I would like to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
Between the two of them.
And then they went to FIFA.
Alright, so FIFA 19, we got a trailer, and they actually brought out a trophy for the UEFA Champions League, which is the most prestigious league in soccer around the world. And they're introducing that into the game this year. We're going to add a tournament mode revolving around it, a career mode, some ultimate team stuff. And we also got a release date, which will be September 28th of this year, as well as FIFA 18 receiving a World Cup update and a limited time free trial for, I believe, a week. I already downloaded it myself, and I think it lasts until the 18th, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's about a week from when their press conference was.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of like soccer and everything, but it looks, for people who do enjoy FIFA and stuff like that, it's pretty good content.
Yeah, FIFA is always good. That's the best game, probably the best game that EA releases every single year. So now we have EA game streaming and Origin Access Premier. So everybody is starting to do these subscription services where you can stream games and everything like that. And EA is no stranger to that. They want to make money, obviously. So EA rolled out Origin Access Premier, and that gets you access to games such as Madden, FIFA, Anthem, which is a game we'll talk about later on, and Battlefield 5. It will be launching during the summer, and it will have a large library. It's essentially just going to be a monthly subscription. For what I gathered, they didn't go too much into it, but that's what I assumed it was. And I like to see how it turns out.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. A good way to get some games without having to, go out and get them. After that, when they showed that, they had a sit down with a guy in the audience who was from a company. Then they're developing Star Wars: The Jedi Fallen Order. Takes place between episodes 3 and 4. During the time of Order 66, you play as a Padawan that's escaping from it, pretty much. It seems like it would be interesting. We didn't get anything else for it other than that and a holiday 2019 release date.
Yeah, I feel like Star Wars is one of the biggest franchises in the world right now. And for them to not even give it a proper review or anything like that, I just felt kind of, uneasy about that. I don't know. It should be a good game, but I don't like how they revealed it.
It's got a good setting, but they should have gave a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of disrespected it.
However, they did step it up with Star Wars immediately after that with going to Battlefront 2. And Battlefront 2 has got a lot of hate and controversy over a few things. But they announced that they're doing some content from Solo, a Star Wars story, the newest movie. Some DLC, maps, and characters that's already been announced. They're going to have a new squad system, which should help out a little bit. A Starfighter mode, so that should be fun. And then, finally, what everyone's been asking for, they're giving out some Clone Wars content. Starting off with a Geonosis map, and 4 characters. General Grievous, Obi-Wan Kenobi, young Anakin. And by young, I mean like episode 3, not episode 1.
Yeah.
And, of course, Count Dooku. So, finally, EA took notes and is giving people what they actually wanted. I, for one, very excited for this, and that's one of the only things I liked about EA's conference.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because the guy that actually came out, he came out and said, we kind of messed up with Battlefront 2. And I appreciate that they said that. However, I don't think they really realized how much they actually messed up. He kind of said it like, we might have messed up a little bit here and there.
I mean, Disney did threaten to pull their rights from it, so they should have a grip on things.
I wish they would just remake the old Battlefront, but
that'd be nice.
We can't get into that today. So a game that was probably my highlight of E3 for EA at least, was Unravel 2. Now, the original Unravel was a good game. It's an indie title.
It kind of went under the radar.
Yeah, a lot. I like what EA is doing with the EA original games. So they bring in, these small companies to really realize their dream. And with Unravel 2, you can play single player or co-op. Now it has 2 characters, and they're attached to each other literally. So you're dependent on the other person playing with you, or if you're just playing by yourself, you're still dependent on that other character, and you have to play accordingly. And I think that's a really cool concept. Probably my favorite game out of the entire EA press conference.
I enjoyed the original Unravel. I never played it, but I watched a lot of people play it. It's a nice little indie concept, and I think the second one will be pretty good. Definitely encourages a lot of teamwork, because the way you're connected with each other, you can't just run off on your own, because you can't.
Just like A Way Out, and that was another game where they wanted you to play co-op. You pretty much didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And I like that couch co-op games are coming back.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed playing couch co-op, and it kind of died off for a while. I'm happy to see EA at least trying to stick it back into the mainstream.
All right, and the actual EA original game that we're getting this year is Sea of Solitude. Now, we didn't see much of it, but it's from an indie developer as well. And essentially, this girl is trying to really find a purpose, essentially, because she's out, in this boat sailing. It's about pretty much being alone, and the concept of loneliness and everything like that. But everything around her starts to go a little crazy as well. The worse that feeling inside of her gets, and I think it's an interesting concept. It explores the feelings of human beings, and a lot of games don't really do that.
Yeah, you fight like big shadow monsters of yourself, pretty much. It's like your darkest emotions coming out and beating you down, and you literally fight back against it. And bravo EA on that one.
Yeah, those Unravel 2 and Sea of Solitude are probably the best games here.
Yeah. And then, of course, EA had to do it to them. Every year, Madden and NBA, we just got another little trailer, nothing special. Just the gameplay, same gameplay for the past, decade.
With Madden, specifically, they brought out a football player, Juju Smith-Schuster. What a wonderful name. They brought him out from the Pittsburgh Steelers and a Madden champion, Madden tournament champion. And it was pretty bad because the dude's sitting here talking about how he went through, the struggle of, trying to become a Madden tournament champion, as if that's the greatest accomplishment on earth. I think he was asked about if he went to his graduation or going to the Madden tournament, and he decided to go to the Madden tournament. Why would you do that? This is not even that. It's just a video game. I mean, I love video games, but it's not that serious. Especially when Madden has not been good for the past 10 years.
Yeah, if you were to ask me if I want to graduate or play more Madden, I definitely want to graduate and get out in the world. Because, you can make money and then buy more Madden, which is a pretty useful thing. And you also would have a life. That kid is just...
Yeah, that was just a very bad part of it. I wanted to tune out after that.
And then from there we went with a mobile game, which it didn't look bad. It looked like a standard mobile game. It wasn't terrible. Command and Conquer Rivals. You 2 sides, blue team, red team, and you're trying to pretty much control the thing to build up a nuke and literally nuke your enemy until they have nothing left. And it's a nice little strategy game. They showed an actual full match, and that was cool, I guess.
It's kind of funny how the most gameplay we got from EA was a mobile game.
Yeah.
That's ironic. And then lastly, we got Anthem, which is, I think they released it. They revealed it last year, if I'm correct.
I think so.
Yeah.
But then we got some gameplay.
Yeah, we finally got some gameplay of it.
I see it as Destiny and a few other games just kind of stuck together.
Yeah, Warframe, that came to mind as well.
It looks good, but it looks a little too it fits in too much with everything else. It's not new. It's not fresh.
Yeah, it seems like they're really trying to make it a new idea, but then when Destiny and Warframe comes to mind, that's not really what I want to think about.
And it doesn't help that later on we'll talk about these, but Warframe and Destiny also got new content. And of course, those games already built up a lot. And Anthem is trying to come in pretty much the same exact genre of those two, except they're already kind of trumping over them. Of course, Destiny 2's got a lot of hate lately, but still, it's got more of a following than Anthem does, and I think it's going to make it hard for Anthem to grow. But we did get a release date, and that is February 22nd, 2019. So maybe February we'll see that it's actually pretty decent, and I'm sure we'll get a trailer between now and then.
Yeah, I would hope so. So overall, that was all of EA's conference. It was about an hour and some change.
Yeah. Between both of our ratings, the average came up to a 4.75 out of 10. Yeah. Not the lowest.
Not the lowest, surprisingly. It barely beat out another conference. Not necessarily because of the games, just because the other conference was just lacking in time and really seemed like effort in general. And
we'll get there. However, next up, we have one of the better conferences. I would say it landed in the top 3, and that is Microsoft. And this is coming from 2 Sony people, all day PS4, and Microsoft did very good, I'd say.
It was a solid conference, as always.
They started off with a good old uppercut, and that was Halo Infinite.
Yes. So we got a reveal trailer for Halo Infinite. We didn't get much else, but I wasn't really expecting much else. And that's fine, as long as we know the game exists.
Yeah.
However, I want to see what else Halo will bring to the series now.
Yeah. And to start off with that, it set the tone for the rest of the thing.
So next we have Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I believe this was shown last year as well.
It was.
Correct. And this is an exclusive.
Microsoft exclusive, so Xbox and PC, pretty much.
Yes. It looks like an interesting game. And the thing about exclusives for Microsoft, usually that is the bread and butter of their shows. The exclusive world premiere games that they always show off.
You can go back to my second channel, Lord Pingu, and watch last year's video, and every single thing they gave out was exclusive. So
yeah, literally.
We commented on that.
And that's what you're trying to do as a game company. However, this year, they kind of reviewed a lot of games from other companies. I'm pretty sure they had a Ubisoft game. Fallout comes out in a couple... in 2 games after this, you will have Fallout, which was, a Bethesda game. And you also have some Square Enix games shown here.
Yeah.
So they didn't really show much of their own stuff like I expected them to.
But what they showed was good.
Yes.
So moving on from Ori and the Will of the Wisp, we got Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. It's a nice little samurai game with a 2019 release date. We didn't get too much for it, but it was good. Yeah,
it is one of 3 games set in feudal Japan, or samurai games, essentially. I like to see how they will compete against each other.
Yeah, we're getting a new genre coming out here, and it's kind of gonna clash.
I have no problem with that, though.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's kind of like when Overwatch, Battleborn, and Paladins, when those 3 came out.
Yes.
There was a little bit of clash there. We know who won that, but that's not for today. So from there, we have what Terrence mentioned earlier, Fallout 76.
Okay, so it's confirmed that Fallout 76 is a prequel. It'll be based on Vault 76, obviously. We will not talk too much about this now because Bethesda released a whole bunch of information about it. But what Microsoft showed us was good. It was a reveal trailer. We knew it was coming.
West Virginia.
Yeah, it is set in West Virginia, by the way. Yeah, that will be interesting. We will talk more about it later at the Bethesda conference.
Alright. And from there we got The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. It's a game about a little boy with a pretty awesome imagination, I guess. The Awesome Adventures. It's set in the same world as Life is Strange, and it's a prequel to the second one. So really it's a sequel to the first game. But doesn't have the same characters. It's about a little kid and his father, and from what I got, the kid kind of had like a little bit of sadness going on, and his dad was cheering him up. And then later on, we saw more in a different conference where he had like a imaginary suit where he was shooting lasers around and stuff.
Yeah, I want to see how this turns out. A lot of people are fans of Life is Strange. I'm not really a fan, but I want to see how it looks.
It's the same art style and everything. It's a nice art style. It's got the same kind of somber soundtrack to it, so it keeps the vibe going. It's another story choice based game as well. So.
Alright, so up next was Crackdown 3 for about the 10th time. Finally, though, we get a release month. It will be releasing in February of next year. We also saw a trailer with Terry Crews in it, and anything with Terry Crews in it automatically gets a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I like to call this game a Terry Crews simulator because the trailer was just him jumping around and destroying stuff. And that's a game I want to do. But I believe Crackdown is an exclusive, right?
It should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, as much as I'd like to see it, I'll just have to watch it because PS4.
Yeah.
The next one, I don't know as much about it because they didn't show as much. Nier Automata Become as Gods Edition. It's like a Japanese RPG going around hack and slash.
Yeah, I think we did get more about it later on in one of the other conferences.
We did.
However, we did get a release date, which is June 26th, so that's not too far from now.
Yeah.
So we also saw a trailer for Metro Exodus, the sequel to Metro Last Light, and we get a release date, which is February 22nd, 2019. And I'm starting to notice a trend. A lot of games are releasing in early 2019, which is not a problem for me, because usually...
it takes a while.
Yeah. And
Sony's Spider-Man's been in E3 for 3 years.
Yeah.
So
a lot of games are releasing in early 2019 as opposed to, later. And the holiday season is always more packed as far as games. So at least early in the year I have something to play.
Yeah. And then from there we got Kingdom Hearts 3, which I was happy with. Later on we got a little bit better content. This one showed off Frozen. A whole world, based around the Frozen movie. You're helping out Elsa. From what they said, you're trying to keep her from falling to the darkness and stuff. And it didn't look that bad, fighting big snow golems and stuff. And we did get a release date, which is January 29th, 2019, which happens to be my birthday. So that's nice.
Wonderful. And a lot of people are, if you're a Cage fan out there, a lot of people are talking about at the very end how Aqua has the yellow eyes signaling, the darkness like that. So a lot of people were talking about that, and that's very interesting. I want to see what becomes of that, because this game is supposedly supposed to be the end of the Darkness saga as we know it right now.
Yeah, more on this game in a little while.
Yes.
And not from who you think it would be from. And moving on from a great game, Kingdom Hearts 3, we dropped down to the bottom of the barrel for Sea of Thieves.
What a joke.
When it got revealed last year, it got my hopes up a lot because I've been looking for a good pirate game. But Sea of Thieves doesn't deliver that. There's not much content to it. So, they decided to show more content. And what this is DLC that adds some new areas, some new enemies, and new items and stuff. But it doesn't really change the gameplay. It's still pretty much a shell of a game. It needs some content to it. I'm open for taking it on as a serious game if the developers can take it as a serious game.
I don't feel like they really are. To be completely honest with you. After that, we just got another trailer for Battlefield 5. Yeah, I don't want to bring up Black Ops. No, I really don't want to bring up Black Ops.
Yeah.
But after that, we did get probably the best game, one of the best games at the very least of this entire E3, which was Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah.
And this is probably the game that makes me wish I had an Xbox.
This is the only game that makes me want to buy an Xbox, purely.
Because PlayStation, we have Gran Turismo, but that's kind of fallen off in the past couple of years, and we don't really have anything else as far as exclusivity.
Yeah, Forza is better.
Yeah, Forza is just all around better.
Yeah.
So Forza Horizon 4 takes place in Britain this year. It is a shared open world, and essentially, a lot of games try to do this, but from what I've seen as far as gameplay, Forza perfects it.
Yeah.
And anybody can just jump in, you can go around, do races, and there's going to be little chat boxes or different text options or whatever like that, just to say, hey, come race or do stuff like that, which is simple, nothing really much, but it's good for what it is. But then there's also dynamic seasons and weather, and that actually plays a very big part in the game, because a lot of games try to implement weather and stuff, and it's just cosmetic.
Yep.
But in this, it really takes a toll, because certain areas start to become unlocked as a result of the seasons changing.
And of course, it makes driving a little different because driving on a flat, smooth surface versus driving through a snowy area is going to be a little different.
Yes.
Going to have to focus on handling, so it makes it more difficult, which is, in my opinion, when you add difficulty, it adds more possibility for you to try and get better, which is more fun.
Yes, adds longevity to the game.
Yeah.
And we get it October 29th, 2019. I wish we got a set release date.
Yeah.
But it's October 2019 as far as we know right now.
If it's October 29th, 2019, congratulations. You predicted it.
I wish.
5 new studios.
Yes.
These are just some studios that make games, and they added them into Microsoft, so they'll be producing games for Microsoft. They're all pretty good. We got The Initiative, Undead Labs, Playground Games, Ninja Theory, and Compulsion Games, all which have made games for Microsoft in the past, and now are signing into Microsoft.
Yeah, I love what Microsoft is doing because they're seeing these small companies out here,
Giving them hope.
Giving them all the resources to build beautiful games. I love that.
Yeah. And then we got We Happy Few after that. I don't know super much about this game. It looks pretty good. We got a release date for August 10th, 2018, so that's this year. More games kind of coming out, hitting us as we go before we even get to next year's E3 or even the holiday season.
Hey, I'm not complaining. A lot of games are releasing in the fall.
Yeah, which is pretty good. I like what I saw from this game. I'm looking forward to it. And then of course, every time they show a good game, they got to follow it up with a little bit of garbage. Coming in next is PUBG. More battle royale games. Garbage. They're putting in a war mode, which is not exactly battle royale. It's kind of like Black Ops main style stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever it is.
And it comes out winter 2018, so holiday season. It's a DLC. It's free DLC, I think. But I can't get behind the battle royale train.
It's not that we're just bashing PUBG. We're also going to bash Fortnite later on.
And every other battle royale that comes up.
It's just kind of sickening.
If you enjoy battle royale games, just ignore us on this part.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So, Tales of Vesperia is getting a definitive edition. So that's essentially just an upgraded edition for that. We got a trailer for that as well. The Division 2 was announced. I think we get more of that later on. So we can talk about that later.
Yeah. Xbox Game Pass. This is kind of like what EA did with Origin Access. It's a monthly subscription that gives you access to over 100 games. It's all kind of big titles that they've shown off. You buy the monthly subscription and boom, you got the games. Now, of course, you're probably going to need the space on your system to play them because you're going to have to download them. So I wouldn't go out and try and get all 100 games.
Yes.
But you could probably download one, play through, delete it, get the next one. Kind of like GameFly, except you have access to more than one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So I think Xbox did good on that one.
All right. After that, they just showed off a plethora of games that will be available during this, and then after that, we had Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We'll get into that in detail during the Square Enix conference because that was pretty much Square Enix's big game other than Kingdom Hearts this year.
Yeah.
After that, however, we got Session, and at first I couldn't tell what was actually going on, but after doing some research, it is a skateboarding game. It's actually a game released some years ago, and I'm guessing this is just a sequel or a remake. And we didn't get much of it. We just saw a little teaser.
It kind of looked like Skate, like the old Tony Hawk games and stuff.
Yeah.
But improved.
Yes.
People were pushing tables around during the skating and stuff. So moving obstacles while you're doing things in the area. That should be pretty interesting. You skate over a table and you go back around and the tables move, so you get to do some new stuff. Add some diversity there. Then we got Black Desert. I don't really know much about this one.
Yeah, we didn't get much about this game. A lot of these games, I noticed at E3, we didn't get much. We just simply got a review trailer. And that is also the case for Devil May Cry 5. But, however, we are getting a spring 2019 release for that.
Yeah, the protagonist looked a little bit different, but he's still himself.
Yeah, Dante's starting to look different in every single game. He's starting to look less like Dante every time.
Now from there, we picked up with Cuphead, some DLC coming out called The Delicious Last Course. It's adding in a new aisle, some new bosses coming in, a playable character, the legendary Chalice, which is the one who gives you abilities throughout the game. You can now play as her, and it looks like some guy named Chef Saltbaker. He's a big pepper shaker thing, and I don't really know what he is. I think he might be like the pig from the other worlds, where he's like the shopkeeper, but I'm not sure. It does say they're adding in new items. I'm a big Cuphead fan, so I'm happy for this, and we got a 2019 release date.
Yes, I'm noticing a lot more release dates than usual, and I'm not going to complain though. But usually we really don't get a lot of release dates. Next up was a game, Tunic. I think this was revealed last year, maybe?
It was.
Yes. Okay, so it was revealed last year. We just got another teaser for Tunic.
It's a nice little indie game.
Yeah, we didn't really get any release dates for it or anything like that. But I'm not going to complain because we got a lot of them already. Next up was Jump Force.
Where's my anime fans?
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. It's combining Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece into one big game. And assuming it's going to be a fighting game.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah. And we got a 2019 release.
It showed off Goku, Naruto, and the main character from One Piece all fighting off one of the Dragon Ball Z villains. I'm not a big anime watcher, so I apologize for butchering that, but it looked pretty good. If you enjoy Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, and Naruto, this game should be good.
Yes.
Dying Light. This got shown off last year as well, and yeah, it looked pretty good. They added in a lot of stuff with like factions, and the choices you make change the entire world completely. Like,
yes, that is.
Yeah,
yes,
this game looked very good. You can tell one faction that you're going to side with them, and then everything goes down to trash pretty much. Everyone hates everything. Or you can kill all of them, and the faction that you killed them for becomes very oppressive, and that's what they showed. And that's only one of what he said was like thousands of choices throughout the game that just mold the world every time you make one.
Yes, a lot of games have choices where it might change something.
Telltale.
But yes. But as far as this game goes, if you do one thing, it can literally change the entire landscape, and that's nice.
And of course, the basic gameplay for it is like parkour survival, pretty much. And I was surprised for this next one, Battletoads. We didn't get much for it, but Battletoads is coming back in 2019. Wow.
I was not expecting that. That was the last thing I was expecting.
Yeah, but I'll take it. Battletoads used to be pretty good, so hopefully they don't butcher the remake.
I hope not.
Sometimes companies make remakes and they just yeah. Next game.
We got Just Cause 4, and that is coming out in December of this year. We'll talk more about that during Ubisoft because that is their game.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, right here in the conference is when they probably made a lot of people mad. So, the Gears of War symbol popped up on the wall, and everybody started cheering. And then, all they were doing was revealing a Gears Funko Pop line, which I collect those. But as a fan of Gears of War, if they wouldn't have showed any more from that, oh boy. Because everybody was hyped up, ready for Gears of War 5 or something. And then here come these pop figures, and it's just an advertisement. And the guy walks out to explain it, and he just says, look, a new pop line. And I was like, no, they're not going to drop us off like this. And I was correct, they didn't.
Because they continued with Gears Tactics, which is going to be a PC strategy game set before the Gears of War series starts.
And then, from there, they hit with the big reveal, Gears 5, the actual game that we thought they would be going when they decided to show us pop figures. Gears 5 shows you playing as, what's the girl's name? You play as the female protagonist, and pretty much one of I think your father just got killed.
Yeah, somebody gets killed at the very start.
Yeah, and you're like, well, I want to go avenge them, and all the people are like, no, you can't do that. So they send one guy with you, and that guy seems to be genuinely trying to help you, and at the end of the trailer, it shows you pointing a gun at his head. So I'm interested in playing this one. I don't think I can, though, because Gears is...
Yeah, Gears is strictly Xbox. That's one of their bread and butter games right there.
I'll just go play it at like a friend's house.
Yeah. So the big reveal for Microsoft was Cyberpunk 2077. It is not as big a reveal as Gears 5.
Keep it going. Keep going, don't stop.
What? You start laughing.
Just keep it rolling.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
I apologize for this moment.
Gears.
The big reveal.
Keep going. We're good. All right, calm down.
So the big reveal for Microsoft was Cyberpunk 2077. It's not as big as Gears 5 was. However, it's still a big reveal for Microsoft, and a lot of fans wanted to see it. So that's good for them.
Final verdict for Microsoft does not place it in the top 3 like I said earlier. It puts it 1 down below it in 4th place with a 7.8, which is pretty high.
It's still a solid score.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of other ones.
Now you could say that, a lot of people say that Microsoft had one of the best ones. I agree with that, but of course we put Sony a little higher because that's what we can actually play. So, moving on to Bethesda. We started with a live rock concert, which introduced us into Rage 2, and they gave us a spring 2019 release date, along with a little bit of gameplay. From there, we went to Elder Scrolls Legends, which is the mobile game, card game that's based off of all the different Elder Scrolls Legends, the Dragonborn and all that. I don't know much about the game, but they said they were having issues with it, so they relaunched it on every single system. So it's now available on everything.
So we are also getting more content for the Elder Scrolls Online, Doom, and Quake Champions. As far as Elder Scrolls Online goes, we get story DLC based on the Argonians,
which is much asked for by fans. They've been wanting them to go back in on that, and Bethesda delivered. We also get Wolf Hunter, which is a werewolf-based dungeon, so that should be fun.
As far as Doom goes, we get an expansion called Doom Eternal, and it gives you a stronger hero, and it's more demons, and we'll also get more info later on.
At QuakeCon in August, which also brings us to Quake Champions, and they just pretty much gave out a little more content. They didn't really specify too much, but more stuff.
Yes. Alright, so next up was Prey, and they're adding a lot of new stuff actually, which is very interesting. We have a survival mode, they're adding New Game Plus, they're adding a new story aspect, and a new DLC as well.
Which is called Moon Crash, and it will add in a 1v5 game mode where, one person against 5 different people, and the one person's pretty buffed up. It's kind of like a raid, I guess, except one person's playing the raid boss.
Yeah, almost like a Juggernaut mode, essentially.
Yeah.
So next up was Wolfenstein 2. They just announced that we're pretty much getting a Switch release.
Yeah. And we got Wolfenstein Youngblood, which is a co-op Wolfenstein game. Well, it can be co-op. You can play it single player, but it has big co-op thing going on for it, and that's got a 2019 release. And we got Wolfenstein and Prey VR, so that should be fun.
Yes.
Prey is a horror game, isn't it?
Not really sure.
It's kind of like Alien somewhat. That'd be pretty fun to play in VR.
Yeah.
And here it comes.
Alright, so the game that everybody's been waiting for, coming
Fallout.
from Bethesda, yes, it is Fallout 76.
West Virginia.
Yes, as we said earlier, it takes place in West Virginia.
It's a prequel to every single Elder Scrolls Fallout game.
Yes.
It's got 6 different regions you can go to. It is entirely online. You can play solo, but that doesn't mean you'll be in your own solo world.
Yes.
That just means you'll be going alone in the entire multiplayer world. It recommends playing multiplayer. Fun thing, you can now collect nuclear weapons and nuke your friends or frenemies' bases. So, what Fallout needs? More nuke. So, me and Terrence can build a house, and I can decide that, Terrence is annoying, and I can nuke his house.
Yes, a lot of people didn't like that, to be honest, because a lot of people are saying, they're going to build up houses and everything, and somebody can just come along and just say, boom, you're gone.
But they also made it seem like nukes wouldn't be that easy to acquire.
Yes.
So I wouldn't worry about, walking through a hazardous area and there just being nukes flying everywhere.
Yeah, so let's just be open to what Fallout 76 will bring.
Yeah, they got a Power Armor edition where you get a big Power Armor helmet. They also have one where you get the a glow-in-the-dark map. And a lot of the monsters in this will be based off of West Virginian folklore, such as the Mothman and that big sloth thing that was in the trailer.
Yeah. And the release date for this will be November 14th of this year.
So that's yet again another early fall 2018, early 2019 release date that we've been talking about. E3 has been pumping out a lot of those, which I am very happy for.
Yeah, that's one good thing that they have done this entire E3.
And then, keeping with the Fallout train, it got a Switch. Fallout Shelter got a Switch and PS4 release, which I've already been playing Fallout Shelter on the PS4. Still just as good as it is on the mobile version.
Yeah, and it's still free. So
yeah,
that's great.
Of course, there's in-game purchases, but that's just to speed up things, as most mobile-based games are. So, the base game, you can enjoy the game without having to put money into it. And they went with their other big franchise and put out another mobile game.
So it is the Elder Scrolls Blades. It is a mobile game, yes, but it actually looks fantastic. It almost looks like a console game.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, it is free, and there will be 3 different modes of play. You have Abyss, which is an endless dungeon. You have a 1v1 arena, and you also have a story mode. Now, again, this is free, and later on, VR capabilities will be available.
Now, the one thing I would worry about with Elder Scrolls Blades is what I worry about with any game like this on mobile. Mobile controls can be stiff and annoying.
Yes.
Even for you Fortnite players, look at the mobile port for Fortnite and how you have to turn and then stop and then shoot. Mobile controls sometimes just don't work out too well.
Yes, but the game is made specifically for mobile, so that might not be a problem.
Yeah, I think they'll fix it. And of course, this was actually pretty shocking. They came out with a new big thing. They got Fallout, they got Elder Scrolls, and now we have Starfield, which will be their newest big franchise set in space. We got pretty much just a scanning camera showing space, and
yeah, this is actually a Ubisoft game as well, so we'll see more of that later.
And their big reveal, if you don't count Fallout 76, it's another 6, Elder Scrolls 6. We got a panning camera going over a mountain, and then the words Elder Scrolls 6, which everyone was very excited for. I have big hopes for it. It's been a long time. After 9 million Skyrim reboots on every single console possible, they even had a little skit making fun of that.
Yes.
We finally get Elder Scrolls 6. So, that brings us to Bethesda's final verdict.
So, Bethesda got a 8.8 out of 10. That is the highest score that we gave, because it was unequivocally the best show of the entire E3 lineup.
And now here's the problem. We get big boy Bethesda making everybody happy. And then, oh, woo. Next up, we got Devolver Digital. I'm going to go ahead and start now by saying Devolver has the lowest rating out of everything.
Yes.
It was about a 15-minute show, I guess, if that.
Yeah.
3 games, Scum, My Friend Pedro, which didn't look bad, and Metal Wolf Chaos. The rest of the show was a big skit, playing someone off of last year, and then trying to also tie into the fact that they'll do the same skit next year, which is a little more story. The problem is, it's a conference to show off your games. Bethesda had a skit that showed off, that was making fun of themselves, but it was mainly games.
Yes.
Devolver's was mainly skit.
Yeah, it was like funny, but
unneeded.
Very unneeded. If you're gonna do an entire thing, just go ahead and just show us the games.
Yeah.
Get through with it. Don't mess around. I'm not trying to see all that.
And don't get me wrong, I like Devolver's games. They make some pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go to an E3 conference and you're going to take 15 minutes and take 10 of those minutes to show you doing some dumb stuff, and then 5 minutes to show games, you're asking for a bad rating.
Just disappointing.
My Friend Pedro looked pretty good. It's a 2D game. A friend of mine who's sitting in the background at the moment mentioned that it looks like you're pretty much playing as Deadpool, just hopping around and killing people. So that's pretty cool. Metal Wolf Chaos didn't get much, and because of the fact that nobody wanted to actually stream Devolver, which I now understand, I missed the gameplay for Scum.
Yeah,
so,
it's just a survival game. We didn't get much from it.
Yeah, so congratulations, Devolver, swinging in with the big old 3.5, planting themselves at the very bottom of the list. Sadly, not very far uncontested.
Yes, but our next conference, which was from Square Enix, which is surprisingly
Bad.
bad.
I had
Coming from a great company.
I had high hopes, and
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and say this: all the games Square Enix showed looked very good. All the games Square Enix showed were already showed, and they didn't add anything to them. They added some to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which we'll go ahead and get into in just a second. But Kingdom Hearts 3, their big reveal, we'll get more into. They didn't show anything different from Microsoft.
Literally the same exact trailer.
A company later down the line showed more for them. So,
Yeah, we'll just get into that later. But first off, we got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and they showed a lot of gameplay. We got about 5 to 10 minutes of it,
yeah.
and showing a lot of stealth gameplay, which is definitely going to be a big component of the game this time around.
Actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. Then we got Final Fantasy XIV Online, a new expansion called Stormblood. It just adds in new adventures, exploration. You get a bigger item menu, or more items, more capacity to hold these new items. It's a pretty good expansion. That was one thing that we didn't see before. But it's a big online game, and it's not much to build your conference on. And then we got a Monster Hunter World Final Fantasy XIV collaboration going on. It just adds in 2 monsters into Final Fantasy XIV, and it launches this summer.
We also saw this game earlier, which was The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. Like I said, this was already shown during the Microsoft conference. However, we did get a release date, again, June 26th.
That's very soon,
Yeah, very, very soon.
and it's completely free. So
Yes.
it looks good. The problem is, like we said earlier, it was already shown. Then we got Dragon's Quest XI. That wasn't shown previously, but they also didn't show much for it. It's just kind of your standard JRPG, and yeah, there's not much to go off
Yeah,
on
there's
it.
not much to talk about with any of these because Square Enix's conference was barely longer than Devolver's, and Devolver was just in a skit.
Yeah, and Square Enix was all gameplay, no explanation, which
Yep.
usually that'd be pretty good if you were showing off well-known titles. Then we get a brand new thing called Babylon's Fall, which comes out in fall 2019. We got a long trailer for it, which looked pretty good, but we didn't get any gameplay. It was just kind of cinematic stuff, and they didn't explain it at all. Comes out on PS4 and Steam.
Yeah, then we also saw Nair once again.
Yeah.
And I think this also gets shown again later.
It does in
Yeah.
PC. And then we got Octopath Traveler. That is it's a game coming out for the Switch made by Square Enix, and it has 8 different heroes that you can switch through while playing it on the Switch. So it looks pretty good, but they didn't show too much for it.
Yeah, it also gets shown during the PC one as well, if I'm correct.
It does. Even less than here, actually.
So a lot of recycling during the E3 this year, I can tell. Next up was Just Cause 4. Speaking of recycling, they showed this already.
Ubisoft showed it again later with a little more depth because it's their game, so
Yes.
I expect that, unlike Square Enix, which doesn't show much for their own games here.
The Quiet Man, we got a little trailer for this.
A mute man beating people in an alley.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we got from that. Nothing really there.
I have some hopes for it, I guess, but I don't really know what's happening.
Yeah,
I would compare it to a game we'll go to later, which is Death Stranding. I was just kind of confused.
Yeah, kind of just there. And then, of course, Kingdom Hearts 3, which is supposed to be their big game.
I was so excited when I saw it pop up. I was like, thank you, Square Enix. You're doing something.
Same trailer.
Ooh.
Okay, here's my problem, Square. If you're going to have the same game at one conference as your own, especially if it's your own game, then show a different trailer. Like, show a lot of gameplay, because that's what people want to see. People have been talking about this game for years now, and all you got to do is just show them a little bit of gameplay.
But no.
No, you show the same exact trailer as you showed before. Disappointing.
Not even the live crowd was like clapping. They probably already saw Microsoft's reveal because it showed the trailer and then they were just kind of like,
Yeah, because this was a day apart,
Yeah.
so you already had a day to process the trailer.
yeah. Like if Square Enix would have went before Microsoft, Square Enix might have actually landed a little bit higher on the list.
Yes.
But we come down to our final verdict of a 4.5, putting it over Devolver, but below EA. And that's your bottom 3.
Yeah, that's saying something right there.
Yeah, if you go to a press conference as a big company like Square Enix and you land below EA,
there's a problem.
You messed up. Now we're picking it back up with some of the better ones. This one isn't like a top contender. It's in the middle group, but it is good. Ubisoft.
So they started out with Just Dance 2019. They always seem to start out with the next Just Dance game, doing dance sequences and everything like that.
This year they had a panda in a marching band suit dancing to Havana by Camila Cabello or whatever. It was okay, I guess.
I don't have a problem with Just Dance. I don't care for it, but don't open the show with that. Just don't.
It was a rocky start, but they did pick up a little bit later, so I'll give them that, I guess. But from there we go to more stuff for Beyond Good and Evil 2. This is a new trailer showing some new heroes that you'll be playing as. And yeah, it was mainly just some, cinematic stuff, but it looked pretty good. Voice acting's all pretty good, well produced. I want to see more gameplay for it. I'm not going to give a big heavy opinion on a game that I didn't get gameplay for.
Yeah. A lot of the E3 was just simple reveal trailers, so we can't really say much about it.
Yeah. Later on the line, we get a lot of cinematic stuff from Sony, but we also get gameplay from them as well.
Yes.
So it balances it out, which is, if Square Enix would have done that,
it would have been higher. Simple. As for Rainbow Six Siege, we just simply got new characters for that.
2 new characters, right?
Yeah.
Coming from, Europe somewhere?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because the previous expansion was Asia, and now we got some European people. I think they're German, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't play Siege. I would. It looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of a weird community going on with it, and by weird I mean just as toxic as like any other gaming community. But I like the whole character concept, and the new characters look pretty good.
All right, after that, we got a reveal trailer for Trials Rising.
This had to be my favorite reveal out of the entire E3 weekend because of the way the guy came in.
Oh my god, he
wearing
came in
the
awesome.
Classic Daredevil uniform, crashing into things, and just I'm a Trials fan. I play a lot of Ubisoft games, and Trials is pretty good. So now we got our new sequel. It's bigger, it's better, more stuff, more crashing. February 2019, PC, Xbox, PS4, and Switch. So that's all going to be good.
Yes.
But just the way they introduced it and how enthusiastic the guy was about it.
Yeah, that was wonderful. I love to see enthusiasm from these guys.
And
not over enthusiasm,
yeah,
but just enough.
And like we talked about earlier, companies bringing in smaller people to help out and trying to give them like a voice. The guy who made Trials Rising called in 30 players? 30 players and fans and stuff like that, and just had them sit down and create bikes, maps, soundtracks, and all that for the game. And it's giving people a voice who might want to enter the game design community. And bravo to Ubisoft for doing that.
Yeah, hats off to y'all. After that, we got The Division 2. We're now getting raids, and there's also going to be 3 free DLCs coming out, and that will be in March 2019.
So that's still early 2019 release. So all 3 DLCs will be free, and they will act as like story episodes.
Yes.
What is it? The raids are also 8-player raids, so big raids. Mario and Rabbids. We got the initial reveal for this last year. I was skeptical, but I bought the game anyway, and it's fun. It's fun to play. And we got a DLC bringing in my boy Donkey Kong to beat up some Rabbids with like herpes or something. I mean,
yeah, let's go with that.
Why can't we get a good pirate game?
See, this game right here, Skull and Bones, disappointed me because when I saw it, this was revealed last year along with Sea of Thieves, and both games look good. Obviously, you know what happened with Sea of Thieves. That turned out to be absolute garbage. Skull and Bones turned out to be, the more mature game, not the cartoony style that Sea of Thieves had.
And there's nothing wrong with that cartoon style.
That's
but
fine.
If you have cartoon style and nothing to put it on,
then it really sucks. Skull and Bones has more mature style. However, after doing some research, because I wanted to see more about it,
I wanted to break my PlayStation.
There is just strictly naval warfare. So
did you play Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
Yes.
Did you enjoy that naval combat?
That's it.
Would you like a game that's entirely that naval combat? No, you wouldn't. But guess what? Ubisoft's giving you one.
That's pretty much what it is. There's nothing but naval combat.
Boarding the ships is just a cutscene that shows your characters get on the other ship, come back on. It's a little fight, and then you cannot get on land. You are on your boat for your life.
I understand that may not be a deal breaker for some people, but that's...
I want a pirate game where
unacceptable.
I can be on my ship, get off, explore an island, go look for some nice treasure, get back on my ship, and go blow up some people. I don't want to be stuck to just my ship.
As empty as Sea of Thieves is, at least you can get on land.
You know, I mentioned this before we started recording this to Terrence, but it's really sad when that Pirate 101 is a better pirate game than any of the pirate games we've gotten in E3 for like the past few years.
Yeah.
Good job, King's Isle. Even though you have a membership problem.
And now we have Starlink, and excuse me earlier, I actually confused this with another game. But
Yeah.
Starlink is a game coming to the Switch, and it actually has Star Fox as a Switch exclusive character, but it's also coming to other consoles, and it's coming out October 16th.
It's got some Skylander stuff going on with the way you buy the ships and put them on. I don't like things like that. If you watched our first E3 video from 2 years ago, I had a rant about Skylanders.
Yeah.
I'm not going back into that, but pretty much it's a cash scam.
Yeah, I mean, the game looks good from what we've seen, but, you know, kind of skeptical.
Star Fox is a nice fan treatment there.
Yeah, they had, shoot. What's his name? They had a guy from Nintendo. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me for not remembering his name.
Main man.
Yeah, big boss from Nintendo. He was just casually sitting in the front row.
Apparently they snuck him in during the reveal trailer. When everybody was paying attention, he just walked into the front row. But
yeah, that was kind of fun. They actually presented them with this little thing, and then they took him backstage. So that was nice. So Transference is a horror game that we'll be getting fall 2018. We didn't really see much of it.
You're kind of like you're a child stuck with your insane father. He's got you in this room, and it's based off of like an old TV being all staticky and stuff, and you really gotta be careful about how he is. He's trapping you. He's probably going to kill you, but we didn't get much other than that. We got this last year as well, but it just said Transference last year.
Yeah,
it's very well done cinematically though.
So after that, we have For Honor, which was a game I was actually excited for last year. This time around, it is getting DLC called Marching Fire.
Adds in a lot. It seemed like some new heroes, or not heroes, but like types of things you can play as. New maps, new game modes. Let's see. They went into detail about that game mode somewhat. It's a 4v4 mode.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good thing to play. A lot of people said For Honor flopped last year, but I think that's just because it came out with a few games that kind of overshrouded it. But
yeah, it looked like a good game to me.
For Honor is a good game.
After that, we got the game that I'm somewhat excited for.
Yeah.
The Crew 2.
Yeah.
I've actually been following this for a while now because I saw it some months ago. And this game, you can play as a plane, a car, drive a motorcycle, or a boat.
I don't know. If you want a boat, you can go back to Skull and Bones. That's all I got.
Yeah, but that is very interesting. I don't think really any game does that. I'm not going to hype it up too much, but we just got a little reveal trailer from that.
Yeah, as people who play PS4 and can't access Forza, the Crew 2 is a good thing that we can probably play. And
yeah, it might not be as good as Forza is, but it should be good enough.
Yeah, better than Gran Turismo.
Yeah, Gran Turismo has fallen down in the years. It's kind of sad.
Alright, their big reveal had apparently been leaked before it, but I missed the leak, so it was a big reveal to me. I think Terrence had already seen the leak.
Yeah, it got leaked about an hour. A day, actually.
Yeah, but that is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, this will take place in ancient Greece, and you have the option to play as a male or a female character. There's dynamic dialogue, so it's no longer just, hey, and then you just go along with whatever they say. If they say, like they show the guy say, go to war with me, you can say, no, I'm not going into that war, or you can agree, and it unlocks that mission, I guess.
Yeah, having dynamic dialogue in any game is just an automatic plus.
Yeah.
And it comes out October 5th, so we got a very near release date.
Yeah. Now this follows Assassin's Creed Origins, which was the latest one, and that one was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Of course, Unity kind of tanked the series for a little bit, but they brought it back with Origins.
Origins was good.
From what I saw with Odyssey, if they continue what they were doing with Origins and kind of the new new content, not just the same stuff. I think it'd be good. And Ancient Greece is a good theme to go off of.
So that brings us to our final verdict for Ubisoft. We got a 7.4 out of 10. Again, a solid score. That brought it in about 5th place out of all the 9 presentations.
It's the very middle.
Yes.
So, had some bad stuff, had some pretty good stuff. It's an overall pretty good show.
Yeah, Ubisoft always delivers. They never really have a bad show.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And that brings us to the PC gaming show.
So,
It was odd.
starting off, it's not a bad show. It was a solid show, again. However, a lot of the games were indie games. And with that, you need to explain it a little bit more or show some more. You can't just show a teaser that's like 10 seconds long and then just say, alright, cool, let's go on to the next thing. That's what they did a lot of the time.
We got like a machine gun fire of games.
Yeah, we have a lot of games, but really no explanation for it at all.
This is the biggest show, and it lands itself in that middle chunk with Ubisoft and Microsoft.
Yes.
But it's kind of empty on some points. First off, we start off with Satisfactory. It's a multiplayer game based on, I guess, building like a factory and going around and surviving in the wild. I've watched this trailer a few times, and I still can't really understand what's happening. And I don't know. It looks good. Very visually, it looks good. Gameplay, it looks good. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it's kind of the theme during this entire show.
Which same thing as NeoCab, another nice little indie game that looks good. It's got like an older style visually, and it's a kind of like a story-based thing. But other than that, I'm not sure what's happening. Satisfactory did get a description from the developer, and NeoCab got a little bit of one, but I still just
it's just kind of hard to follow. Another battle royale game, Maverick's Proving Grounds, because that really sounds like a battle royale game.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Maverick's Proving Grounds.
Yeah, that
Really hopping on the train.
totally doesn't sound like PUBG, but whatever. It's coming to PC.
Battle Royale, more PC. It's just the genre's big. I can see why, but I also don't like it.
It's very disappointing because now, once they start implementing it in Battlefield and COD, then you know it's starting to be a very big problem. Because all these AAA games are starting to implement it. It's just going to get worse and worse.
It's not needed.
Yeah.
Forgotten City. It was a Skyrim mod that the mod developer, or was it the mod developer, or did someone else pick up the mod and just turned it into its own game?
Yeah.
Still uses some of Skyrim's lore. I think they contacted Bethesda a little bit, and of course, or else they get copyrighted. And it looks good. It's got the same kind of visuals and stuff, and it will be taking on its own original content set in the Skyrim universe.
After that, we got 2 games we didn't really get much from, and those 2 games are Stardock and Hunt Showdown.
To show how little we got for Hunt Showdown, when the next game, Archangel Hellfire, came up, I thought that was for Hunt Showdown because it just happened so quick until I saw the title.
Yeah.
But Archangel Hellfire is a mech fighting game, and I like myself some mechs, so that should be good. Get up with your friends and get in a mech and beat each other.
After that, we got a game called The Sinking City. Again, we didn't really get much for this as well. Last year, they, at the PC Gaming Show, just to say, they had a lot of, explanations for the games, and this year they just seem to be rattling off, just trying to get all the games out and show them.
I was quite surprised to see that the Cuphead DLC landed in the Microsoft show, but not the PC show, because it's just as big as a PC game.
I guess because Microsoft pretty much just owns the PC gaming genre at this point.
Yeah.
Then that's what you get. Warframe, however, did get some DLC called The Sacrifice.
Yep. As we mentioned this earlier when talking about Anthem having to struggle fighting against Warframe and Destiny 2, we mentioned that Warframe would be getting new content, and here we are. It didn't show too much for it. It showed kind of like a story trailer in it, I guess. It looked good, but I played Warframe. I didn't really enjoy it too much. I'm more of a Destiny fan, and I don't know.
Either way, both these games are probably already bigger than Anthem is.
Yeah, definitely. But if you like Warframe, this seemed to be more of the big Warframe content, and I think you'll enjoy this.
So after that, they showed 5 games very quickly. Two of these games, well, actually 4 of these games, a lot of people already know. They are Shenmue 1 and 2, and then Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza 0, which are all Japanese games.
If you couldn't tell.
Yes. But those games actually, Shenmue was really popular back in the day, and they're just bringing it back now. And then the Yakuza series is actually a very popular series as well. And then there's another game called Shining Resonance that they showed off.
And not much was shown for these games. It was kind of like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, just to show you that they're coming to PC.
Yeah, they look good, so I'll give them that. Killing Floor 2 got, last year we saw the DLC for the summer sideshow, and we saw it a little bit more, and then we also got more DLC called Treacherous Skies, so just pumping out content for Killing Floor 2, that's nice. Killing Floor 2 is a good game, and it needs more content. Well, it doesn't need it, it's got plenty, but a good game, getting more good content, just makes it better, so.
Yes. After that, we got a game called Maneater,
I like this one.
where you literally play as a shark.
I liked the trailer for it because it made it seem like you're about to be doing a whole bunch in this big resort because the way they were introducing the area, and then it pans down to under the water, and you see the shark come up and just tear apart a tourist, and then it just follows the shark, and that's when you realize you're playing as a shark in this wonderful resort, and you go on a killing spree.
It seems very interesting. I just want to know how the controls and mechanics will work.
I remember playing the Jaws game on the original Xbox when I was little, and it looks kind of like that, but a little more, obviously a little more updated to fit with the modern times. So I think it'll work good.
All right. So next up, we had 3 games where again we didn't really see much from.
Thank you, PC.
Yes, thank you very much. Delivery Network Online, Morningstar, and Overwhelm. 3 games that we didn't see much from, as I said, but we'll probably see a little bit more from them later on as they get closer to release.
I'll give one thing to the PC Gaming Show. They made taking notes about E3 the most difficult thing I've ever done for any of these videos, because the way they just sped through things, it was so hard to catch the title.
Yeah, just think about Sony, how they usually do their press conferences, times 10, and they just quick, fast.
And the host is very enthusiastic about things, sometimes a little bit too much, but that's a little off track. Yeah. Next, we come back to Clash of Clans Jurassic World Evolution, and you're just pretty much building your own park. It looks exactly like the Clash of Clans gameplay without the you're not sending T-Rexes over to your friend to eat their people. You're just making a park. I don't like the genre of game where you just kind of tap things and build stuff like that. The Clash of Clans genre is what I'm going to call it. I'm just not a big fan of it, but people who do like it and people who do like dinosaurs or the Jurassic Park,
Yeah, because Jurassic World, they're having a new movie coming out, this week or next week, something like that?
Yeah, actually rated R too, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's called Fallen Kingdom. That should be good. So that builds hype for the
movie. That's probably why they just released it.
But I won't be playing it. If I'd like to see a Jurassic World game where it's more of a game.
Yeah.
And less of a building simulator. But the next game,
Stormland. Now this is a open world VR game. I would love to see how this is going to work. If they pull this off perfectly, I would definitely try to play it, because a lot of VR games are kind of limited in what you can do. But combining open world with VR will be very interesting to see.
Yeah, and not just open world, but changing open world.
Yes.
There's enemies that every time that they'll do stuff and it just changes the world. So you don't end up getting bored. Because obviously with VR generated things, there's a limit to what you can do compared to other things, because they're still trying to develop that kind of stuff. So to have it constantly change and be more entertaining, I like that.
Another group of games that we just kind of went by very quickly here: Night Call, Sable, and Star Citizen. I know it's a lot of games with the name Star, and
I don't know. Those 3 don't have anything on them.
Yeah. Then we also got another game, Genesis Alpha 1. However, we did at least get a release date for this September 4th of this year.
More fall. Don't Starve got some DLC called Don't Starve Hamlet. It will be taking themes from Hamlet and putting it into Don't Starve. It looks like you'll be going through towns of those big pigmen, and they're not just instantly hostile anymore. Adding in some new outfits, look like I enjoy Don't Starve. I like Don't Starve Together, and I think this one will be a good addition to it. And Just Cause 4 again.
Third time, I think.
Yeah.
They've shown Just Cause.
We haven't really gone into too much detail about some of it, but there's big dynamic weather going on.
Yes.
So you could be going around and all of a sudden a tornado will spawn on you, or big hurricanes, stuff like that. You have to watch out for things like that, especially in your windsuit. And it's a big open map as well. So I'm saying this now because I think this is finally the last time Just Cause appears on E3 2018.
And then after that, we get two different Walking Dead titles. One is from Overkill, and that will come out November 6th. And the other is from Telltale, and that is going to be the final season of their Walking Dead series.
That's pretty bittersweet. It's good that it's not going to drone on for too long.
Yeah, 4 seasons is enough.
Yeah, but it's going to be, I guess, sad that it's over. But hopefully they end it strong. Telltale, the last one, I believe it was one where you could choose to kill or save someone. Whichever one you chose to save, they killed, and whoever actually got saved died in like the next scene anyway. So Telltale has a history of making choices that aren't actually useful. You make it and you feel like you're doing something, and they just kind of turn around and stab you in the back. Hopefully they don't do that on this last one here. And Overkills is like an entirely new story with new characters, all original content. I'm looking forward to that. I enjoy The Walking Dead, the comics, the show, the game. I like it. It's good.
We have another game we didn't get too much from, called Noita. We didn't really see much for it, just the reveal trailer. But after that, we did see a very interesting game called 2 Point Hospital, and you can literally run your own hospital. There are different types of diseases that you can deal with,
such as the monobrow,
monobrow,
which has you killing monobrows that hide under your desk and stuff that infect people with the monobrow, because nobody likes the monobrow.
And after building your own hospital and running it and making it super efficient, you can go around to different areas and build ones. And there are different conditions that might affect your hospital, or certain diseases, viral diseases, that can affect people in your area.
Yeah, different area, different diseases, kind of like the real world.
Yeah.
And then Hi-Res Studios, the maker of Smite and Paladins, comes in and goes, "Hey, look, Realm Royale." And guess that second word, Royale, it's a battle royale. They have classes, which all high-res games kind of have that class system. But I can definitely see this being put third on my high-res list here. Smite, Paladins, Realm Royale, because high-res is a good studio that sometimes are a little bit too cash-grabby, but they didn't need to make a battle royale.
This is about the, fourth time we said Royale this time?
Yeah.
It's getting kind of ridiculous.
Ooblets. It's cute. You get these little orb animals which follow you around, and you have your own farm. Take Stardew Valley, make it somewhat 3D, and add in these little animals that just kind of constantly follow you around. It's cute, I guess. We didn't get much about it. I think we actually got more for it last year we just got a title. So
yeah, last year was just a title. Another game we didn't really see much of at all. Anno 1800. I think they had one of the developers or somebody come out and talk about it, but we didn't really get too much for it. Now we do get a game based on cyanide and happiness called Rapture Rejects.
And this is what it sounds like. The Christian thing, the rapture, when the Lord comes back and calls back all his children, but the evil, dark at heart people get left behind. They are the Rapture Rejects, and this game is based off of you not getting picked back to go to heaven, and you're left on earth with all the other people who didn't make it into heaven. And it is just a bloodbath. Cyanide and happiness humor has always been pretty dark, and a theme like this helps them open up to really go with what they do. So it looks good. If you enjoy Cyanide and happiness, you'll probably like this. If you don't, you probably won't.
And their big reveal for the PC gaming show was Hitman 2.
AKA not Age of Empires.
You're still mad about that?
Yeah.
Alright. Hitman 2, I'm pretty sure is not exclusive for PC, so I'm not really sure why they showed it here. But at the very least, we did get a November 13th release date.
It said he'd be going to Miami to handle these two, I think it's siblings or something. Maybe it's a married couple. They share the same last name. So, we got a Miami hitman. And PC comes in with a final verdict of a straight 7. That's below. It's in the middle chunk. Yeah. So we have the full bottom chunk, which is Devolver, Devolver, Square Enix, EA. Then we have the middle chunk, which is PC, Ubisoft, Microsoft, and then of course Bethesda was the top one. So now we come with second and third place, starting with second place, and that will be Sony.
All right, so Sony, they switched it up this year.
A lot of story.
Usually, they would just come out. You have the guy come out and say, "All right, welcome to the show," blah blah blah, and then about an hour of just straight trailers or gameplay. This year, they start out in like a church setting, literally. They showed The Last of Us Part 2, which pretty much everybody was raving about.
It was good. A lot of story. The main character, she is a lesbian, and they're kind of focusing on that, so that helps bring up some awareness about the LGBT community. And I guess it is Pride Month, so a good time to do that. And the trailer has her kiss her partner, which brings back some Vietnam level flashbacks of like 5 minutes of gameplay. And then after the gameplay, which looks very good, it showed a lot of combat, showed some execution-style killings in a cutscene.
Yeah, it was wonderful gameplay.
Yeah, and it just goes back to right after the kiss. So, something hopefully we get explained is why that kiss just hurt her a lot.
But, a lot of people gave The Last of Us 10 out of 10 when they originally reviewed it.
First one, very good.
Yeah, I expect this game to be very good. It's going to be obviously the highlight of the show.
Yeah. And from there we went to some content from Black Ops 3.
So essentially, if you pre-order Black Ops, just for the PlayStation, if you pre-order Black Ops 4,
you get a map pack.
Yeah, you get a map pack, and PlayStation Plus also has a free download for Black Ops 3. I guess that's alright, but Black Ops 3 has been out for some years, so and COD pretty much comes out every year, so yeah. I don't see a lot of people going back to play it.
Yeah, people are going to hop on the next one. They're not going to want to go back and play the old ones. Well, I don't know. Black Ops 4 is pretty rough, but we'll leave that behind.
So then they showed about
a cluster.
Yeah, just a cluster of games, just like a few seconds of them.
Shotgun Blast, Tetris.
Yeah. So we got a Tetris game called Tetris Effect, Days Gone, which you should have actually gotten a whole gameplay trailer for. I don't understand why they didn't show anything.
We got one last year, didn't we?
Yeah, it was like either last year or the year before that. They showed a lot.
Yeah, it was last year, but I guess they just didn't feel like doing that. Twin Mirror, which they showed before the thing.
Yeah, another game called Ghost Giant, and then another one called Beat Saber.
All 5 of these were apparently shown before the conference, which, okay.
I'm not really sure what Sony was doing here.
Destiny 2. We got Forsaken expansion. It's DLC. And they start off, in the trailer, they kill Cade 6 and his ghost. And we don't have much else on it. There's a new game mode called Gambit. It'll put 2 teams of 4 in 2 completely different arenas. The first person to kill the boss wins. So it's like it's a PvP mode, but it's in PvE style. The 2 teams will never cross each other. And from the looks of the trailer, it looks like you'll get a random group of enemies because the guy flips a coin and says, "What did I get? Fallen." So hopefully it's the same enemy for both teams, because if one enemy gets fallen and the other team gets taken, the people who got fallen definitely have an upper hand, because certain enemies are way more difficult to fight than other ones. So Destiny 2 is having the Destiny 1 disease. It kind of died, but the Taken King revived Destiny 1, so perhaps Forsaken will save Destiny 2.
See, the thing is, Destiny 2 was not as popular as the first game, though. A lot of people weren't really feeling this one.
It had a really good story, though. I enjoyed the content that it came out with. The problem with it was once you played through the story and you did like the raid and 2 other things, you had nothing else to do. So this is adding more to do. The other 2 DLCs they released were rushed. Like, hey, we need content, and it was trash. So maybe this one won't be as trash.
So after that, we got a game called Ghost of Tsushima.
This one looks good.
This was an excellent looking game. Beautiful graphics, visuals.
This is the other samurai thing we were talking about.
Yeah, it takes place in feudal Japan. It showed off about 10 minutes of gameplay, and
it was kind of cinematic.
Yeah, but it has excellent sword combat.
Yeah, it looks exactly how you would expect it. The old samurais to be fighting. Good story. It looks. I enjoy myself a good single player story game, and this looks like it.
So after that, we got a game called Control, and we didn't really get much of it. And it's kind of hard to tell what's going on, but essentially there's a girl where she has a gun that pretty much shapeshifts, and there's a lot of supernatural stuff going on, and she also has some type of telekinetic abilities, and we hope to see more of that going forward, because this is one of the games that we didn't really get much of from Sony, and usually that's not something that they do. However, after that, we did get the trailer for Resident Evil 2 Remake.
That was very nice. It's got a release date for January 25th, 2019. It started off by showing a point of view from a rat walking through a room, and you hear some arguing going on. And I couldn't really tell what it was at first. But then obviously the main character walks in the door and turns his head, and you know who he is.
Yes.
And the Resident Evil 2. At first, they didn't really announce that it was a remake. So me being slow, I was like, what do you mean Resident Evil 2? Didn't we just get 7? I was a little confused. It got clarified. I'm happy for it. Resident Evil 2 Remake looks pretty good. And then we got a...
interesting game.
It's another comedy-based game. Comedy-based story game, I guess. Kind of like the Rapture Rejects. Trover Saves the Universe. From the co-creator of Rick and Morty. There you go.
That's about all I have to say right there. It actually looks like it's an interesting game, but I want to see more from it.
Yeah, it didn't show any gameplay. Just a little bit of a teaser, I guess.
So after that, we did get finally a new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 after seeing the same trailer twice at Microsoft and Square Enix. We got a trailer showing off Pirates of the Caribbean, specifically the third movie.
Yeah. The one where he is stuck in the desert that's kind of like his mind. I don't really remember how the movie explained that, but yeah, it's David Jones' locker, but it's a little convoluted. But it shows him escaping from that, and then it shows you on the pirate ship doing some pirate combat, not like Skull and Bones, like actual pirate fighting and stuff. So that's pretty good. Finally, thank you Sony for showing another trailer. I don't know why Square Enix didn't show this one. This would have been a smart move by them, but it just gave Sony the upper edge on beating out Square Enix on the E3 2018 race.
I'd also like to point out, Kingdom Hearts 3 was actually supposed to release this year. They came out and said earlier this year that they said, alright, we're going to release this game in 2018. And then what do they do? They say, yeah, sorry about that. It's going to release in 2019.
Luckily, it's January 29th, 2019, so it's only about pretty much 2 months in, because the 29th is late, but...
The chance of getting delayed again is, I don't know, it might happen again, knowing this series.
Let's just hope it doesn't. From there, we got a confusing game. Death Stranding. Norman Reedus walks for 10 minutes with a baby. I don't know what's happening in this game.
Yeah, they showed this game for the first time. Yeah,
they started this game showing a baby inside a woman.
Yeah, I didn't know where that was going first.
I was a little worried about that one, but this game is just... Last year, he was standing with a baby on a beach full of oil. This year, he was walking a lot. And at one point, he had a body bag on his back.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where they're going with the game. It's been announced for a long time, so...
The only gameplay we got was him walking, so I don't know what's happening. But, anyway, next.
We got another feudal Japan game, Nioh 2.
The third samurai game.
The third samurai game we're getting.
Personally, I think the Ghost of Tsushima will be the best one.
Yeah, I think so too.
But this one looks pretty good, as did the one that we mentioned earlier. So,
hopefully these group of games, I should say, do not get the pirate game disease from E3 that Skull and Bones and Sea of Thieves has, because I hope these games are good.
If these games flop,
I'm gonna be disappointed.
And then, for the third year, we got Spider-Man. But finally, we get a bit more. Last year, we got a good amount of trailers showing Kingpin, I believe.
Yeah.
And Mr. Negative. This year, he's in a prison, and he's fighting villains, big name villains like Electro, Rhino, Scorpion, Vulture, and, as shown from last year, Mr. Negative. Seems like Mr. Negative is kind of putting all of this together. But Vulture, Scorpion, Rhino, and Electro are all very good villains. And the trailer ends with them all surrounding him and just kicking him, just beating him down. So, we'll see how this goes.
And that was pretty much the end of their actual show. But after that, they
showed another game randomly.
Yeah, a game called There Is CNET. And
it's a VR game.
Yeah, it's a VR game. We didn't really get much from it. They didn't say anything. I'm not really sure what the point of that was. Sony had me kind of questioning them the entire conference, to be completely honest. But
and final verdict: second place Sony is 8.7 out of 10. Barely. I mean barely under Bethesda. Bethesda had an 8.8, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So 0.1 below Bethesda. Overall, good show. A few things like Death Stranding that were just confusing and Deracine. But Sony did good. A lot of good story. Followed up by good explanations and good gameplay videos. Unlike Square Enix. And
Right,
finally,
Nintendo. So Nintendo started out with a game called Daemon X Machina. It's a mech combat game, and it is coming out in 2019.
And we got mech combat and we got a samurai theme going on this year.
Yeah, we do. I think that's like the second or third mech combat game.
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It gets Torna, the Golden Country DLC, coming out in September 2018.
And after that, we got a Pokemon game, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
November 16th release date with the little Pokeball Plus thing.
Yes.
It overall looks like a pretty good game. It's not a main title; it's the remakes, and I think it'll do good. So
after that, we got a trailer for Super Mario Party, looking better than ever.
Yeah,
It's coming out October 15th.
Of course, all these are on the Switch because that's their new console and they're building it up. And the Switch is a very good couch co-op game system. So Super Mario Party games like that are very, very good for this.
After that, Fire Emblem is coming to the Switch in the form of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. It is coming out in 2019.
After that, we got the best game shown at E3 for the entire weekend.
My behind.
Top tier Fortnite coming to the Switch. Garbage. I can't wait to see more trash dancing and annoying videos from my friends on social media just posting their Fortnite victories over and over again as if they're still special. They're just Fortnite started the battle royale trend. You could say PUBG did, but Fortnite popularized it. Fortnite is nothing but a stupid cash scam with all their battle passes and stuff because you can't get anything out of it without paying real money, and it's just garbage.
Are you okay?
No. I hate Fortnite.
Alright, after that, they did show a game called Overcooked 2 that is coming out August of this year, so you only have to wait 2 months for that.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good. The first Overcooked was, it's a hectic couch co-op, run around the kitchen, don't burn things. You probably will. Overcooked 2, more couch co-op. That's what I want. Like we mentioned earlier, couch co-op died. This year, some companies are trying to bring it back in, so I like that.
After that, we received a game called Killer Queen Black, and this is actually from the arcade game Killer Queen. They just making it on the Switch now and just renaming it Killer Queen Black.
Hollow Knight is coming to the Switch, and boy, do I love some Hollow Knight. I play it on PC. I haven't finished it, but it's a very good indie game, nice story, nice to just sit down alone and play it. And I'll be looking forward to playing it on the Switch. I don't know if I'll buy it again because I already own it on PC. But for people who haven't bought it on PC, the Switch is more fun to play on at times, and I would definitely recommend buying it. It's got nice art, all hand drawn, nice music, nice gameplay. It's just an overall nice indie game.
After that, we have an exclusive called Octopath Traveler. I think we already talked about this. It's an RPG.
Yeah, Square Enix showed it.
Yeah, it's an RPG, and it's coming out July 13th, so we're getting a very close release.
Yeah. And then we got just kind of like another shotgun of games coming out.
This is a real shotgun
This
here.
is the biggest shotgun. Starlink, Arena of Valor, Minecraft, Sushi Striker, Mario and Rabbids DK, PixArk, Just Dance 2019, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Crash Insane Trilogy, Ninja, FIFA 19 and FIFA 18 World Cup, Ark, Paladins, Fallout Shelter, Dark Souls Remastered, Wolfenstein 2, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, Mega Man 11, The World Ends With You, and Mario Tennis Aces.
So that is a lot of games coming to the Switch. Now, to give them a little bit of credit, Nintendo usually does not have a lot of games that are not made from them. So the fact that they're bringing all these games over, hopefully they won't be trash ports. They'll actually be good games. They will be very
I remember when
appreciative.
Black Ops 1 came out on the Wii.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
Oh man. No, that's no.
And their big reveal.
The big boss.
This was a 45-minute show with a 25-minute trailer for Smash Bros. Ultimate. And it deserved it. It very much deserved it, except for my boy Waluigi being left behind. They said everyone is back, and they do mean that.
Literally every single one.
Every fighter to ever have been in this game is back in this game.
They're also adding Ridley from Metroid. So
And he seems kind of like what Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo and stuff, the 3DS. That Mr. Hand was like the big boss in that.
yeah, Master Hand. Yeah,
It kind of looks like Ridley might be like something like that.
yeah. I think he
The
might
way
be.
they were showing him, it looks like Ridley will be kind of the big boss for like a campaign mode if they do that. Some of the characters got new outfits. Some of them have multiple voice lines depending on the version they are. A lot of them got new stuff.
Yeah,
We can't go through every single character they listed.
Yeah, there's 60 something, so it's
It's
a
like
lot.
70 something.
Yeah, almost.
And they have some special editions of them. Like you have Pit and Dark Pit, and Dark Pit counts as a completely different thing. Kind of. Well, he's like an echo thing, is what they called it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. That brings us to its December 7th, 2018 release date, holiday. So, get your Christmas list ready, because you know if you want that from your parents, they're probably going to tell you no, Christmas is soon.
So our final verdict for Nintendo was an 8.7 out of 10. Again, a very, very good press conference.
That ties it with Sony, I believe, which puts us with 8.9, 8.8, and 8.9, 8.7, and 8.7
Yes.
for the top three. Which brings us to our tiers here at the bottom. We'll go back and give a recap in case you've, missed a few things.
So our clunkers of E3 this year are Devolver with a 3.5.
And if you want to know why it has 3.5, it's because it was nothing but a skit. It didn't show enough gameplay.
Square Enix has a 4.5.
Because all the games they showed had already been shown, and they didn't really elaborate on anything.
Electronic Arts got a 4.75.
Self-explanatory. They just kind of showed the same games they show every year with a few good originals.
Alright.
The scores jump.
So the mid tier is the PC gaming show at a 7.
And of course, that's just because they showed a lot of good games, but they also showed a lot of games that had nothing behind them. It was just boom, 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 nothing else other than a title.
Ubisoft came in the middle spot with a 7.4.
Yeah, all good content pretty much. The Just Dance intro, of course, that's rough, and a few other games just didn't really land. But everything else is good.
Alright, Microsoft had a 7.8.
And this obviously puts them a full point below anybody in the top tier, but their show was good, starting off strong with the Halo Infinite and keeping a consistent good for the rest of the thing. Obviously, a few things were kind of or else they'd have been top, but it was consistently good. There's nothing in it that was terrible, not much exceptional though.
The only knock I really have for Microsoft is showing not showing enough exclusives and showing a lot of other people's games.
Yeah, they killed Square Enix.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, our outstanding tier tied are Sony and Nintendo with an 8.7.
And both of these, we said, they had really good games. They showed enough enough story content with enough gameplay to balance it out. Every now and then they had a little bit of a falter with a game that just didn't really hit, such as Death Stranding or that big cluster Nintendo did.
Yeah.
But overall, very good.
And our winner, Bethesda, at an 8.8, all around great show, considering the past 2 years just kind of been mediocre.
Bethesda hit hard this year, coming in with Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls 6, Fallout Shelter on all consoles, a new big thing, which is their Starbound, their new game coming out. Everything they had is just strong, and it was good. Of course, a few things. It wasn't a perfect show. The intro to Rage, it was a good show, but just kind of like Ubisoft, I don't really enjoy starting off with a musical like that. It's a little rough, a little hard to get into, but congrats. E3 winner 2018 for us is Bethesda, and the absolute worst is Devolver Digital, consistently.
I feel like Devolver will come back next year with the same exact type of skit.
Considering they left a cliffhanger from last year and they picked it up this year and they left another cliffhanger, Devolver Digital, I predict next year will come back at the same spot. I also predict that EA will stay in the bottom tier. I think the PC gaming show will move to the bottom tier and that Square Enix will come back up to the mid tier.
They better.
Otherwise, I believe that Bethesda, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, and Ubisoft will stay around fighting for the top 5. Was that 5?
Yes.
Okay.
So, that was our E3 2018 review. I just want to thank you guys for staying and watching. And
this recording process today, me and Terrence have had a little bit of a rough time. So
yes, very.
We really do appreciate you watching. Special thanks to Jim and Nick for sitting in the background and adding commentary and making things more difficult at times.
Yes.
Want to say hi, Jim? Okay, thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Nick.
Thank you.
They can't see you, but okay.
But again, thank you guys for watching. If you are watching on my channel, Jacob's channel link will be in the description.
Yep. I have an old channel, which is Lord Pingu. I won't be using that anymore, except for as a backup thing in case things are wrong. I'll be starting up a new channel, which this video will be on, called Jaboc the Great. So stick with me there.
All right. So
thank you so much.
thank you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys.